y'all, it's me, Alex. Today I have a video that is inspired by my friend Emily Han who did it, and Kelly Gooch had also done it and I saw her video, but it is eyeshadows that are in palettes that I would also want as singles. I will cut that down shorter for the title. I basically made a list, a little bitty list right here, of all of the eyeshadows that I own in palettes that I think I would absolutely want to purchase as singles. Most of these are unavailable as singles. One of them is available as a single. It's a pretty self-explanatory topic, so I am not gonna go further in this introduction and I'm just gonna get into the content. Okay, so the first shade that I really wish was a single shadow is from Midas Cosmetics in their Green Tea Macchiato palette. Now, this is just a cute little itty bitty quad and I love it so much, but I really wish the shade Long here was a single shadow. No, I'm not gonna run out of this by any means anytime soon. I will swatch it right here for y'all. This is honestly one of the best kind of foresty, greeny, teal eyeshadows ever. It blends so nicely. It goes on really pigmented, like it can go on kind of subtle, but it can go on like really pigmented depending on how you wish to blend it. I just think that this is very good quality. I love the Midas Cosmetics formula, and honestly, these are so inexpensive that once I do inevitably run out of that shade, I will just probably buy the whole thing again, because the chances are that means that I will have run out of at least one of the other shades too. Like Short up here could also very much go on this list. But yeah, that's shade number one. I don't have makeup wipes, but I do have pajama pants to wipe my swatches off on. Okay, next shade that I want to mention is from the Colorpop X's and O's palette. And it is actually the shade Reckless right here. Now, I know that might not necessarily look like something that I would want a whole single of, but what I really love doing is just kind of doing a full-on smoky eye using this shade. I think it is super, super flattering on my eye color because I have brown eyes, and this sort of shade really does bring out the green shift that my eyes occasionally have. I really love it. I think that this shadow is such good quality too. It's so good for a one shadow look that I think it would make a great single. I don't know if Colourpop has this as a single. They might. I have not perused the Colourpop single shadows in any recent history, so I have no idea, but I do think it is quite lovely. The next one is from a palette that I found out recently is going to be discontinued, so if you haven't gotten your hands on it, you absolutely should because it's fantastic, and that is the Melt Muerte palette. This is what it looks like. Honestly, I love this entire color scheme, as you probably know if you've watched my videos for any length of time. The shade, though, that I specifically want as a single is the shade Kalaka up here. I love this because, one, it is the perfect inner corner highlight. I think it is such a beautiful shade, but in addition to that, and how much I love the formula, I think it makes a lovely highlighter on my skin tone too, and I think it could actually work as a highlighter for a lot of skin tones. First of all, that was one tiny swipe. I was just barely dipping my finger in, and it is so pigmented and so very soft, and it just swatches beautifully. Well, one of the things I really love is matching my inner corner to my like brow bone highlight a lot, so I really like the shade. I love it whenever I use it. That's probably going to be the shade that I finish up first in this palette because, I mean, it's also the most versatile shade out of the whole palette, but I think it's really good and I need a single of that Melt, please. I know they don't make singles, but they should. Actually, the last three palettes that I'm gonna be snatching some singles out of are all Anastacio Beverly Hills. Amazing. The first one that I'm gonna mention was actually mentioned in Emily's video, and I think possibly Kelly Gooch's video as well, and that is from the Subculture palette, and that is the shade Electric. Now, I have an affinity for greeny, weirdy, shifty eyeshadows, and this is probably my favorite shade in the Subculture palette to begin with. Like, you can really see that cool, like, green with a little bit of like, I guess, a pinky peachy duochrome effect. I think that that shade is absolutely fantastic. It is definitely the best one in the palette. I would almost say the like mac and cheesy type shades, but I think I do own like mac and cheese and yellow type shades that are better and a little bit easier to work with than the ones in the Subculture palette. I just love that Electric shade. I think that is so cool, and you can use it as so many different things. I love doing a good halo eye with just like that in the middle. Usually I use like either a green for like the other color in the halo, or I actually will use like a pinky peachy shade so that way it can pick up kind of both sides of the duochrome, and it's just really cool. This next one is actually the one shade that I'm mentioning that does really come as a single shadow, and that is Pink Champagne from the Self-Made palette. I mean, this palette is 5 years old, so obviously it is very dated, but I think that this is absolutely the one shade that stands the test of time. Now, as you can see, I panned a whole bunch of other shades, but I don't care if I get more of those. It's whatever. But if I run out of Pink Champagne, I will cry because it is so beautiful and metallic, and I think this is really when Anastacio started making really just like amazing shimmery metallic type shades. Like honestly, when you put this on the lid, just like do it all over with like a little bit of a transition shade and it looks so metallic and wet and beautiful. So Pink Champagne, it does come as a single. It's like 12 bucks because it's a friggin' Anastasia Beverly Hills eyeshadow. So that is costly. I'm probably not going to be running out of this one in the palette anytime soon, so at least that is my saving grace at the moment. It's a good shade. And then lastly, I have a shade from the Anastasia and Jackie Aina palette. Now, as you know, if you've seen my previous video, this is one of my favorite palettes of all time, but the shade that I would absolutely love to have as a single is actually the shade Pinker up here, this kind of mid-tone pink. I mean, that's how Jackie explained it when she was doing her launch video of like, it's like pink, but more, so it's pinker. I love how this swatches. The reason that I would want this as its own single shadow is because I think it provides like a really great mauve transition shade. I also love it as kind of an all-over lid shade, kind of like the one from the Colorpop palette. I think this could make for a great one shadow kind of smoky type look. I need to actually show the shade to the camera when I am talking about the shade. But I think that this is such good quality. It is so easy to blend. I love whatever they did to the formula in this. It's just magic. So I think that that is absolutely lovely shade, and I think it's just so versatile because you could just kind of do it as like a one shadow look, but also imagine Pinker in the crease and Pink Champagne on the lid, and then maybe a little bit of Colacas in the inner corner. I mean, I'm not saying that I'm a genius, but it might be, I'm just saying. Okay, so I know this was a little bit of a shorter video from me, but I thought it was pretty fun, and like honestly, if you haven't done this video, you should. I don't think this is a tag video, but like if you want to do it, your tag, do it. This is super fun, and I will actually link both Emily's and Kelly's videos in the description bar. That way if you haven't seen them and, you know, happen to be living under a rock so that you couldn't have seen them, here you go. They deserve all of the credit and all of the attention in the world. And if you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe down below if you want to see more videos from me, and I will see y'all in my next one. I hope y'all have a wonderful day. Bye!